So I'm going to explain something. I had an eating disorder, and that's just like an addiction. So in some ways, it can kill you. But I was a waitress at this place called the Village Cafe, and it was a fun place to waitress. I was about 20, 21 maybe. And I was walking down the sidewalk to the 7-Eleven to get a Diet Coke, and I had a $5 bill in my hand, and somebody yelled smack, and I was like, ooh, it's that easy? You just walk down the street with a $5 bill and people want to give you heroin? But I had read, I'm a reader, and I'd read Junkie by Burroughs, and the hell that he went through in that book. I mean, plus my dad and mom, they don't want you to do drugs. They talked about it. And in fact, in my family, after the Civil War, there was 3 children born in Birmingham right after the Civil War, and my grandfather was a judge. And my family said, well, 2 of the boys, they just disappeared after the war. We think they got into drugs. But I never ever tried it. I mean, I probably wouldn't have anyway, but definitely reading Junkie was like, and high school kids should read that book, by the way, seniors in high school. Yeah, I just never wanted to put that in my body, and I didn't want to have to go through, you know, what William S. Burroughs. It seems stupid. You shoot it up and you get sick, and then you're numb, and you can't make good decisions, and I didn't think it sounded like that much fun. I'll drink every once in a while, but that's not something you get addicted to as bad as heroin. So I was dating an artist when I was older. I was like 50, and he was a nice artist. I think he had his graduate degree, and he worked a lot in construction and did paintings, and we just got along and had fun. And then when we got to the point where we took our pants off, or my dress off, he had needle marks up and down his legs. He was a heroin addict, and he didn't tell me. I had told him, I said, you know, I suffer bipolar. The first date, we were talking on the patio, and I said, I suffer bipolar. I take medicine. So he was concealing that. He didn't share it. And the thing about that addiction is it's a lie. You have to lie to people. And he lied to me. But I still went in, and I said, well, let's see what happens, because he wasn't doing heroin at the time. But then he did. And he was abusive. He hit me, and he told me he didn't trust my judgment. And that struck a chord with me since I have bipolar. I thought, well, that's not very nice. Don't trust me with fixing the transmission on your car. But, you know, I felt that I could be trusted in my judgment. I think that was his short-sightedness. Anyway, I said something to him, and he hit me. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then he fell back into it, and I would take him to do the methadone, but he would do heroin on top of methadone. I took him into programs, but they didn't lock him up, so the next day he would leave. He couldn't stop. And, you know, just don't do it. I mean, it's stupid. To me, it's stupid. You're ruining immediately any kind of possibility of having a good life if you get addicted to heroin. It's going to be such a fight. It's going to be a fight for the rest of your life if you do it. So don't do it. Just don't do it. You know, do something else. Drink a little bit, smoke a little pot, but don't do the opiates, because they grab hold of your brain. They grab hold of your brain, and they limit your choices, because you can't make good choices while you're on it. And even though people might have sympathy and empathy for you, you still, if you read Burroughs' Junkie, you're going to see he could have been a great artist without that problem. It's not going to help you in your art. Not at all. Suffer something else, you know. Go do something. Go help somebody. Do some agape or charity. Agape is giving of yourself to someone else, and it gives you a feeling of deeper happiness. And then charity is just giving your money and then trying to help people that way. But you'll get so much more life satisfaction over those types of love. It's honestly a nightmare to do. Fentanyl, it'll kill you. And the thing is we have some gifted and talented people that are somewhat educated and have great possibility, and we can't afford to lose them. We need those people in this country to run our country, to keep our country strong. And we're losing 300 a day to fentanyl. For what? I think creativity and some therapy in schools, having an art therapist to help us diagnose family issues, relationship problems, things like that, will help stop that and help end this tirade of so many people doing something stupid like drugs that it will ruin your life. I don't know about LSD. I don't think it's as addictive. But yeah, once you get addicted to those drugs, you have to, it's like, cigarette smoking. I smoke cigarettes and I take Chantix. If I take Chantix, I can quit. But it's not illegal, and it's not nearly as bad as, I can still be productive and smoke a few cigarettes. I'm not saying it's ethical or right. I'm just saying that the drug allows you to drive a car. I don't think I don't think you should be driving a car on pot. It's a little stronger than nicotine or any other drug or alcohol, things like that. I mean, I'm not against marijuana being legalized and taxed. I don't want the money to go into the hands of illegal drug dealers that end up going to jail or getting shot. So we do, I mean, it's been there and around for so many years that it's time that we tax it, and adults can choose whether or not they're going to smoke pot or marijuana or do edibles or whatever. It is a drug, and it can affect your life if you do it too much.